Very good morning and welcome to Swechotv. This is the hot seat coming to you live as I promised you earlier and yesterday, of course, that today we shall be looking into the OL-KALOU by-election where we've seen 9 candidates being cleared for this race, and of course it is a race that involves again in as much as it would have been in as much as it is considered as the key by-election in the country. It has got a higher number of registered voters, and also the counterparts. It has got the ruling party, of course, the UDA candidate. It has got the DCP candidate. It has got the Jubilee candidate. All these candidates feel like they are the best, and we are going to dwell into it and see how things are so far as voting is concerned. Let's have a look at how this is going on as much as this by-election and rather the entire country is concerned. IEBC has pledged credible elections, just of course as the opposition side were rather having got a different idea, saying that perhaps and you confirm through the DCP chairperson, or rather the DCP leader stated clearly that there is high chances of maybe bribery, accusing the chairperson of IEBC. So IEBC has responded and they say that the election is going to be credible, and over 14 police officers are manning a polling station, just one polling station with around over 14 police officers, and so far there is no ugly incident that has been reported. Each polling station to be manned by 2 cops, and this is something that brings a heavy contingent of police deployed that were promised by the IG to ensure that the election remains peaceful. When we look at this, the IEBC also stated clearly that they would report in time, and around over 73,000 registered voters are there to vote, were supposed to vote, and they are eligible. The polling stations were to be open from 6 a.m. to 5 p.m. and this gives an opportunity to each and every interested individual to exercise their rights in terms of voting. And now let's have a look at this much information. And now we look at we talk of Samuel Mushina Nyaga, the running mate. That's of course he is running on behalf of the ruling party, that's the United Democratic Alliance, the UDA. Is going to represent the entire team under the UDA. We have got Sammy Douglas Kamaru, who is a flag bearer of the Democracy for Citizens Party, that's the DCP, and Rigathi Gachagua. We also have Engineer Wilson Kigwa representing the Jubilee Party, and as I told you earlier that this is a very tight race, of course, and when you look at it from the opposition side and the ruling party side, each party aims at the winning, and each party states clearly that they are the winner. So we also have got over 1,000 police officers have been deployed across the constituency to maintain order, and political functions have raised concern over the massive deployment of police officers. Remember the DCP, when the DCP party leader communicated on this, stated that allegedly stated that the chairperson of IEBC perhaps would be using these police officers maybe to rig the election. That's how he stated clearly. Coming to this, it is a very tight race indeed, and we have to see on how the residents have to say. The former member of parliament, that is David Juguna Kiaro, who passed away on March 29th, 2026, is therefore going to be replaced today, and let's see who's gonna bring it home. Is it the DCP, the UDA, or whichever party? We will see on that. Let's have a look at what residents have to say who have been there since morning, and have a look at what is really going on as we speak right now. Let's have a look at this.
Naitwa Ken Mukera, mkaaji na mpiga kura wa kituo hiki cha AC Primary School. Kituo cha AC Primary School ndio kikubwa sana katika eneo bunge la OL-KALOU, kinao wapiga kura 4756. Vile vile hiki ndio kituo kina determine nani atakuwa mshindi katika ubunge katika kiti cha OL-KALOU kwa miaka mingi. So mimi pia ni mpiga kura hapa. Ya kwanza tunasema asanti kwa sababu mambo inaendelea vizuri. Tumekuwa pale nje katika gate katika tu utaratibu wa kuhakikisha kila kitu kiko sawa. Tunao pia maagent pale ndani ambao wanatu update kuwa kila kitu kinaendelea vizuri. Ukiangalia kwa wingi watu wamejitokeza vizuri. Tunaangalia kumefika watu kama 1000. Na katika saa 11,000 walikuwa wameshafika pale nje. Ni thibitisho kuwa sisi watu wa hapo OL-KALOU tulikuwa tumejiandaa vizuri, tulikuwa tumegoja nafasi hii ya kupeana mbunge wetu wa hapo OL-KALOU ambao tunajua tumekuja leo kureplace kwa sababu yule mbunge wetu aliyeweza kuondoka kwa sababu ya upendo wa Mungu kumchukua Mheshimiwa David Jogona Kiaraho. Na leo vile vile tunao wagombea viti wengi ambao ni 9. Kunazo chama kuu ambazo zinapigana nguvu ambao tuna chama kikuu cha DCP. Vile vile kuna chama cha Jubilee, kuna chama ambao bado kinang'ang'ana cha UDA. So ni thibitisho kuwa leo itakuwa siku kuu kwa watu wa hapa OL-KALOU. Mwelekezi anakueleza utaelekea wapi. Vile vile katika kituo nimeona presiding officer akieleza vizuri, haufai kuwa na simu katika kituo ndani. Unapoingia kura yako ni siri, unapewa, unaweka na hakuna mambo ya kupiga picha, hakuna maneno ya kuonesha ni nini. Vile vile amesema kila mtu ako na huru ikiwa wewe ni mpiga kura wa hapa. Yale tu tunaomba sisi kama watu wa hapa OL-KALOU, wote wa OL-KALOU constituency, wale ambao watapiga kura tu ni wale tu wameandikishwa na wako katika voter register ya wapiga kura wa hapa OL-KALOU constituency. Lakini tukiangalia kwa sababu tunajuana, wengi ambao nimeona katika laini saa hii ni watu naweza taja kwa majina kwa sababu ni wakaaji wa hapa, wapiga kura wa hapa, na ni thibitisho kuwa leo tutapata mshindi, na tunaomba tume iweze kuzingatia ukweli, haki katika upiga kura. Leo kwa nyumbani kuwaomba tu kila mtu ajitokeze. Tunaomba kila mtu ajitokeze ili aweze kupeana haki yake, ili ambayo mbunge tutapata leo akuwe ni mbunge ambao ni sisi tumeamua wakaaji wa hapa. Na umuhimu kabisa ni kuomba kila watu waweke amani. Hatutaki vita, hatujai kuwa watu wa vita. Wa OL-KALOU wanajulikana ni watu wenye upendo, watu wenye kuweka amani, na viongozi ambao tumekuwa nao wamekuwa wa kuoneshana mwelekeo mzuri katika amani. So leo vile vile wakaaji wote wapiga kura tuweke amani. Baada ya leo uchaguzi ukisha, tutazidi kuwa ndugu, dada na marafiki. Na umuhimu, najua kila mtu ana mtu wake. Ningeomba pia kwa sababu mimi na support aitwa Sammy Douglas kama watu wa Mungu.
That's just one of the residents in that particular constituency who has also stated clearly that agents reported on time and they really appreciate on that. Now let's have a look at perhaps what's really next on this. Now coming
Ken Mukera, mkaaji na mpiga kura.
Just said they have waited for this opportunity to come. They have eagerly been saying like aspirants there day in day out every day, and they have been like saying that perhaps when will we have an opportunity to elect the best candidate that we really prefer. And he has also stated that in that polling station, once you enter, there's no phone allowed inside as you cast your vote. No photos. Nobody's allowed to take any photo. Remember your vote, your choice. But again, it's a secret ballot, and therefore, when they say there's no photos being taken inside, let's just stand with that. Again, he has just confirmed that and even though there is a big number, but of course not everyone has reported so far. But again, he is also encouraging the rest who are still at home to come and vote, so that the leaders, whoever will win today, at least becomes like the voice of the people, the one that people really referred and elected in with a higher number of votes. He has ensured that, he has also stated clearly that OL-KALOU constituency has been a constituency, or rather considered to be a peaceful, a unified constituency, and he also demonstrated that at least each and every time after this election, or rather during elections again, they have to maintain that peace, love, and unity to ensure that the constituency remains. At the end of it, after the election, they remain one family. They have brothers and sisters. Let's election not separate them due to maybe a difference in ideologies or other difference in parties. Just as you've seen, it was just a great chance because these people have the agents arrived in time and people showed up also in time, and everything so far everything is running smoothly. Unless there will be any other thing that needs your attention, we will be there to bring it to you live. Now let's just proceed and see what other members had to say, other residents who lives within.
Naitwa Lucy, mi nimekuja hapa OL-KALOU kuvote ndio niamue ni nani nataka akuwe MP wangu. Kazi ile nataka afanye ni kuangalia mambo ya masomo sana. Juu watoto wengi hawasomi juu ya kukosa karo ya shule. Naenda kwa shughuli zangu za kila siku, pahali ninafanyia kazi, nitaenda niendelee na kazi yangu. Line ya L juu jina langu ni Lucy.
Niko na shughuli nyingi za kufanya, lakini nimeamka mapema ili nitimize lengo langu la kufanya kuweka kura yangu ili nitangalishe kila ni nani atakaye kuwa mbunge wetu. Na ndipo nikaamuka mapema nimalizie hili jambo alafu ningojee matokeo. Kwanza ni ya kwamba ni awe akichaguliwa ashikilie lile lengo, kwa maana kama sasa hatuna mbunge, hakuna CDF inakuja, na ile milani ambayo ilikuwa imewekwa angalau ikaweze kuendelea na kutimiza, na ili akaweze kuwajibika katika eneo letu kama mbunge wetu.
Naambiwa wa change hiyo mashini, hawataki kuchange, so we are wondering what is the problem. Bia ati all will be well, so tunashindwa all will be well hadi sangapi? Yeah, so they need to do something. Yeah, we need some action to be done, kwa sababu mtu mmoja, watu wanakuja wanatuacha kwa hizi line zingine. Si tulikuja hapa 6, sasa ni saa 1 na we have not voted. Mimi nilikuwa like mtu wa kitu 20 bado 1 hour watu 20. Hebu imagine watu wote watavote saa ngapi? Yeah, kwambia ABC they need to listen to the voters. So kama hizo mashini ziko na shida, they need to change them. Yeah, so pledge yetu ni wa change mashini, walete mashini maybe yenye ita respond haraka juu tunaona hizi lines zingine zinasonga. Yeah, ile yetu isonge. Yeah.
Just from that, we've seen the resident stating clearly that perhaps the next leader who is going to be chosen today, whoever will win, at least needs to have the interest in matters of education, because most of the students in that particular constituency, according to her, of course, stated clearly that most of the students in that particular constituencies can't manage maybe to go to school all the time because they lack school fees, and therefore whoever will come through, like whoever will win, should therefore chip in matters of education and ensure that either there is a solution in matters of education, either perhaps by reducing the amount that needs to be paid, or rather offering much in terms of education, so that students, or rather the parents, have got an easy time when it's come to paying fee, by ensuring that at least the fee is reduced to maybe a particular amount that favors the entire constituency. Again, there's another part of it whereby an individual complains that machines are now operating like by that time were operating maybe slowly, and therefore they were requesting maybe for other means of maybe determining of where to vote, or rather a way of maybe having a detailed information in terms of maybe having got a way forward, be it maybe the chairperson or rather confirm that apart from that they will be, in case they have got any technical error, then they will be using an ID. Everyone will have got their ID there and confirm that they are really a registered voter of every polling station. Perhaps they will advance into that, because earlier on we've seen one of these people stating clearly that all is not well in terms of that. They have delays in machining that particular polling stations, but of course in other queues there was a positive significant movement as compared to the queue that he was in, and that's also, we believe that the chair and rather the entire committee as far as IEBC is concerned are reacting to that. We've stated clearly earlier on, and we continue to say that this by-election is not just like any other by-election. This one involves like the DCP and of course the UDA. Whoever will merge as the winner gives a different vibe, or rather different angle as far as the election is concerned, or rather as far as the numbers is concerned. If the DCP takes it home, then it basically proves that perhaps the DCP party leader, that's Rigathi Gachagua, is therefore kingpin, as he always stated clearly. And if the UDA also brings it home, then Professor and the current Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Professor Kithure Kindiki, is also considered to be also a serious leader, as far as that particular region is concerned. You've seen that earlier on, according to the info track, Professor and the current Deputy President emerged as the best running mate for the 2027 elections, general elections, and therefore again winning this will also give him a higher chance. Let's just look at what the DCP Deputy Party Leader had to say. That's Honorable Cleophas Malala, as far as that election is concerned, because they reported they are very early in the morning.
Start of the day when all the agents have reported in good time. There is peace and calm, and we expect that we shall have this trend all through the day. We are optimistic that this is going to be a good day for us, because people have turned out in large numbers, and we are also urging anybody who is still home to wake up and come and exercise their civic right. Secondly, we also want to urge the police officers, especially those in plainclothes, not to intimidate voters, because we've seen so many vehicles here without number plates, and we've told our people that any vehicle that has no number plate is therefore suspects to activities that may want to interfere with this election. So we want to call upon the residents of OL-KALOU in high spirits. Make sure you vote, and also guard your vote. That fears itself, a government that does not have confidence in itself. That is why they over-deployed. But nevertheless, the people of OL-KALOU have shown maturity in exercising their democratic rights, and they are calm, and we don't see any cause of alarm. But as to when anything contrary to what we expect happens, we'll be able to reach out. We'll be voting at AC polling station at exactly 10, and will be a golden casting of the vote.
We've stated clearly that he has heavily criticized the government, raised security alarms, and urged voters to guard their ballots outside the polling stations. As maybe what we've just said as far as maybe over-deployed security guards concerned, he has also talked of because agents arrived in time. So far there is peace and calm. They are optimistic that the day will be good. The entire day will be good, of course, and the police officers in plain clothes shouldn't intimidate voters. He has also talked of maybe there are still vehicles, or rather the vehicles had been seen earlier on in the morning that with no plates. Actually, those have been alarming, because in each and every, maybe perhaps the previous, we've seen this in previous protests that we've been having as a country, whereby we have got people with the covered faces, and of course unmarked vehicles. So these issues of maybe having an unmarked vehicle has been a challenge, but of course he has also encouraged residents to come out in large numbers and vote. This voting exercise is not just something for one day. In as much as the voting exercise will take one day, it is not something like the effect has to last for. Remember, the next general election will be in August 2027, and therefore the effect is going to be seen for almost a year and some months. Therefore, in as much as these people are going to have got this, election today, they have also to be given enough time and everything that and ensure that calm is there as promised by the IG, that everyone will be given an opportunity to vote. Once you vote, you will leave the site and give an opportunity to IEBC also to play their roles. Remember, IEBC had also taken like had also fined some of the leaders as far as maybe election like code of conduct is concerned, and just to ensure that and gives a figure that nobody is above the law, and election is something that is free, and it shouldn't be like bribed in any way. It should be free and fair, and result also, the outcome should also be like free and fair. Remember, a result doesn't necessarily favors an individual thought, or rather an individual way, because remember, when you are supporting a certain political party, another person is also having got their own political party. That is around over two members involved. Remember, when it comes to OL-KALOU, around 9 individuals, nine members have qualified, 9 aspirants are qualified for the race. So it doesn't necessarily mean that these 9 individuals have to win. We will only have one winner. Therefore, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to win. But of course, if you don't win, there is always next time. The election comes and goes. In every 5 years, we do have elections. If you don't win, you don't have like to go maybe to the street and maybe like end lives of individuals, or rather go to maybe having a protest. No, we just give them as IEBC had promised earlier, that they are going to give us to give the members of OL-KALOU by election what really they need as far as that election is concerned, and therefore people are therefore urged to be peaceful. They have to remain calm. Those people who are still at home must therefore report and vote, so that the outcome, you don't these over 70,000 individuals, voters should be like reporting there to vote, and so that we also see later, we will also be giving that record of maybe how many people generally reported to vote and how many didn't. So in as much as you as a political leader, perhaps, or rather as an aspirant, this thing always rely on numbers that have reported. You may have got the higher number, but unfortunately the people who reports to maybe every polling stations becomes a very low turnout, and this will also have to affect the result. Perhaps it may be your own maybe supporters, rather your own close individuals who are supposed to vote have got their number falls under those people who didn't vote at all, and this will also have to maybe affect you. Just to move on with what the deputy party leader of DCP, that's Cleopas Malala, have just you have told the voters to stay near the polling station, and of course you have also declared the OL-KALOU by-election a revenge #1. So against Dr. President William Samoei Ruto administration, following the impeachment of the former deputy Rigathi Gachagua and sacking of the various ministers. This is just something that, of course, he had said earlier. Malala criticized the heavy deployment of police officers, water cannons, and the presence of unmarked vehicles without license plates. This is something also that, of course, in as much as we would expect this from the opposition side, this is something that we will have a look at it and maybe see on what perhaps this may result into. Despite of alleging massive vote bribery by the government, Malala expressed strong confidence that the DCP candidate Samuel Mashina Nyaga would secure the landslide victory. As I told you earlier, that this is something that brings on another movement as far as maybe politics is concerned, as far as maybe the key parties is concerned, that the UDA side and the DCP are just perhaps comparing their energies, and therefore we will see in terms of figures on who brings who at home. And of course, we wish, as the Swechotv family, we would wish each and every individual the very best as far as this election is concerned. Now, coming into perhaps continuing with what the residents had to say, in respondent to what IEBC considered the previous day, of course, as far as this election is concerned, stated clearly that people should turn up, come and vote. But now, in as much as you'd report at any polling stations, try as much as you can and adhere to what is being observed at that particular place. When you are told that by an IEBC official that move to point A, please give them an humble time and please go to where you are being told. And in as much as this is concerned, nobody, unless you are a registered voter in a particular polling station, then you will be allowed to enter and cast your vote. But just in case perhaps you are not a registered voter in a particular polling station, then you have got no business, and rather you will not be allowed in. These are just some of the things that IEBC is just trying to ensure that the election, or rather the outcome, the process is therefore smooth, and therefore the outcome also give them an ample time to manage the entire system on what they are really going to do. You see, elections, we've eyewitnessed elections earlier on in some constituencies. We've also experienced by-elections in some constituencies. But now this one, the system have been the same, and of course IEBC have been ensuring that every voter is safe, and every occasion that occurred there, the police officers react with immediate effect. In as much as, of course, we are allowed that we say that have a mobile phone is a personal belonging, and therefore you are there are some individuals who are used to maybe having their phones all over wherever you go. You have to be with it. But now, this time, when it comes to now voting today, things takes different shift, and therefore there are points that you are not allowed to access using that. On the contrary, you remember that perhaps oppositions have been talking of maybe bribery by the all the time, and of course maybe rigging of this election. Bribery, it gives a clear indication that the IEBC has also reacted into these things by ensuring that perhaps you vote and leave. You have got no any other business allowed inside. After voting, you just take your own leave and ensure that any other business remained to them. What belongs to the IEBC, it belongs to them. You as a voter, as a registered voter, you just go and cast your vote, then give the rest of the room, or rather the opportunity, to the rest of the mandated individuals. On matters, maybe to talk of the exact figures that are going to be maybe used, it is clearly that we are going to have this election today, and only those, in as much as the party leaders, the DCP party leaders also communicated, and rather some of these people, the residents, has also communicated that those people are still at home, need to go there, everything is running smooth, and they have to create their own time and go there and vote to vote. And some who are also at the queue stated clearly that in as much as they have got their other duties to do, and they just decided to take their time and give this today voting exercise the first priority. They vote, then go continue with their other activities, and they encourage each and every individual who haven't reported so far to go cast their votes, then come back and continue with their daily activities. This is something that perhaps is also going to give to at least show that in as much as the IEBC might try to create an opportunity for everyone in that particular constituencies to exercise their rights as far as voting is concerned, then by having got a higher number, the way they started, has been confirmed that there was a higher turnout. If the process continues like this, then perhaps we will have perhaps over 50% turning out to vote. We will see as the day goes by on who the exact figure on who will have voted and who did not have maybe a time not to vote in terms of numbers. On matters to do with the security, it is clear that it had been confirmed that everyone is going to protect, and the polling stations is going to be protected as well. We've seen through the videos that police officers are there. The maximum possible number is there to ensure that there is safety in terms of casting votes during the counting of votes and announcement of the winner. Everything will be on a safe hand side. This is something that is bringing much attention on matters of what opposition has said, that they are deploying security, they are over deploying security just to reach the votes. But that is not the case in this situation. They have ensured that perhaps there are enough security officers to ensure that, remember, that area have got been having much clash as far as voting is concerned, because there is a UDA party that feels much stronger. There is DCP also feels much stronger. This party, they feel they are the best and they are the strongest, and therefore this has been bringing much political tensions. And these securities, as has been communicated earlier, they are just there to ensure that there is no interference, there is no perhaps any chaotic environment as far as any polling station is concerned among the areas that people are supposed to vote. The DCP candidate was supposed to vote at around this time, and we will see, as that was just confirmed by the DCP deputy party leader. We will see on how that will also be happening. Now, we had seen that earlier on, as a result of this tension, perhaps the IEBC chairperson also confirmed that earlier on, that's last week, this tension has maybe was bringing much figures and rather much confusion, and he had got a different view of maybe cancelling the election, or rather having it maybe postponed. But again, this also brought much tensions from the opposition side and maybe the entire country, that why postponing this. But of course, in as much as the tensions is concerned, and rather the security of each and every voter is concerned, that's how they viewed it. But later on, around 2 days after that speech, they decided that everything maintained as communicated earlier, and voting was to take place, and indeed it is taking place. As we've seen, it began in a good mood, and we believe that the day will also be good. It will end in a peaceful manner that will also bring a positive result to the entire country. Because remember, elections, we've seen by election, the previous by elections, we may be experiencing some chaotic environment. And perhaps when you look at what we had in Mukazepul constituency, where we were to replace the late Sir Charles Ongondowere, and during that by-election, we saw something that perhaps happened in relation perhaps to what matters security, where the member of parliament for Homa Bay Town was also attacked, or rather injured in that particular constituencies. And now, to this, remember that that's another home of ODM. Now, when we compare this, and perhaps because you see that in that particular constituency, that's Kavondo Kasipul, everything was, however, that much like it had got also much tensions, but not as compared to this of OL-KALOU, because here we have got two different parties aiming at that higher vote, at that seat. So perhaps from that previous mistakes that perhaps happened, or rather the insecurity issues that perhaps happened, that's why a higher number of police officers have been deployed in this particular OL-KALOU constituencies, just not to intimidate voters. As a voter, please create your time, go and vote. Police officers are there perhaps to all the time to protect you as an individual, as a voter, and of course as all the entire IEBC officials. And during the voting, during the counting of votes, and of course even during the announcement of voters, this is something that needs to be taken positive, just as promised by the security agencies. That in as much as we have got these tensions, let's just do our business. Let everyone maintain his or her line, whereby you only play your role as an individual, then leave the other roles to other individuals that as far as each and every angle of matters is concerned, you vote anyway, let the security team do their roles. But that's also another very nice movement. That's a very nice, of course, experience that we are seeing in that particular constituency. And now we will be bringing you some of the updates as time goes by on what takes place at particular moment, and just in case there will be any communication by either these particular aspirants or rather their political leaders, political party leaders, we will also be giving you that live. Remember, so far only the DCP deputy party leader, that's Honorable Cleopas Malala, has communicated, and of course perhaps maybe the residents have just also seen. In case there will be any individual communicating, we will be bringing you that live. But again, so far so good. We appreciate everything is peaceful, everything is moving on as expected, and rather also as had been assured earlier by the leaders that we do have, and rather the security team, the entire security team has also, we've also seen what they have promised being, of course, exercised, and this is something that bringing us a positive move as a country. We appreciate and expect that everything remains peaceful until the end of the day. Otherwise, that brings me to the end of this particular discussions. But of course, just as I told you earlier, we will be bringing you this every movement, or rather every communication that will be happening live. I will still be here to update you, and at 1 p.m. we shall be bringing you news, and of course after that a lot has been happening, and we will be bringing you that live in 1 p.m. news. As far as OL-KALOU constituency decision matters, we shall be also giving you updates. I've been bringing you this live, that's the hot seat, coming to you live every Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. This is something that you shouldn't ever miss at any point. Thank you so much for keeping it live. I would encourage you to always keep it live in Swechotv. I've been your host, DEDAN. Thank you so much for keeping it live here. We will be back with more.
Audio Jungle.